Hello, and welcome to another English listening practice for beginners. Let's start. Belle's 3-day Italian adventure. Belle had been waiting for this vacation for what felt like forever. Italy, just 3 days, but it was going to be her adventure. No strict plans, just sunshine, good food, and unforgettable memories. She woke up early on the morning of her trip, humming with excitement. After brushing her teeth and throwing on a comfy outfit, she made herself a quick breakfast, grabbed her suitcase, and called a taxi to the airport. Halfway there, things took a turn. Her taxi broke down with a hiss and a puff of smoke. The driver got out and shook his head. Belle's heart sank. She was cutting it close. Thinking fast, she dragged her suitcase to the nearest intersection and flagged down a passing car. The driver, a kind older woman, let her hop in and sped her to the airport. Belle sat stiffly, clutching the handle of her suitcase like it could anchor her. The woman drove with surprising speed and confidence, weaving through traffic with the calm of someone who'd done this 100 times. Belle's phone buzzed with a boarding alert. She had minutes. With a sharp turn and a soft smile, the woman pulled up to the curb outside departures. Breathless and a little sweaty, Belle made it just in time for boarding. As the plane took off, she leaned back in her seat with a relieved smile. The trip had barely started, and it was already an adventure. Arrival in Italy. After the long flight, Belle stepped off the plane and was instantly met with warm air and the scent of blooming flowers. Outside the airport, she hopped into a taxi and spent the entire ride admiring the scenery, narrow streets, weathered buildings, and laundry swaying on lines overhead. Her hotel was tucked on a quiet side street. The room was small but cozy, with a little balcony overlooking tiled rooftops. She sat on the edge of the bed, looked around, and smiled. She had made it. Jet-lagged but content, she took a hot shower and fell into bed, dreaming of the days ahead. Day 1. Belle woke up to birdsong and warm sunlight filtering through the curtains. She got dressed in a cute outfit, ready for her first real day. Her plan? Breakfast, wandering, and taking it all in. She found a cafe on a quiet corner and ordered a cappuccino and pastry. Just as she took her first bite, dark clouds rolled in. Within minutes, it started to pour. Everyone scrambled for shelter, Belle included. Dripping wet and laughing at the chaos, she huddled under a cafe awning next to a woman about her age. They struck up a conversation. The woman was a solo traveler from Spain. They ended up spending the morning together, sharing stories and wandering the wet cobblestone streets once the rain let up. Later, Belle visited a beautiful museum, full of marble statues and ancient artifacts. She marveled at how much history was packed into one place. A kind museum worker noticed her curiosity and gave her tips on some exhibits she might have missed. In the afternoon, she joined a small walking tour. The guide told stories that made the past come alive, and Belle soaked up every word. For dinner, she and her new friend from Spain met up again at a cozy restaurant. They toasted with sparkling water, laughed until their stomachs hurt, and exchanged contact information before parting ways. Day 2. The next morning, Belle was eager to shop. She grabbed a taxi and headed toward an open-air market she'd heard about. There were rows of stalls selling handmade jewelry, fresh fruit, spices, art prints, and leather bags. She bought a few small gifts and chatted with a cheerful vendor who taught her how to say a few phrases in Italian. She treated herself to a cup of fresh squeezed juice and wandered further into the city. But when she sat down for lunch at a sunny little cafe, she reached for her purse and realized it was gone. Her heart raced. She must have left it in the taxi. Fighting panic, she returned to the hotel and told the front desk what happened. They helped her contact the taxi company, and after some time, her driver returned with her purse, untouched. Belle was overwhelmed with relief and gratitude. To lift her spirits, she decided to visit an art gallery nearby. It was quiet and peaceful inside, just Belle, soft music, and paintings that seemed to breathe with life. A local artist was there doing live sketches and offered to draw her. She left with a small charcoal portrait and a huge smile. That evening, she treated herself to gelato and walked through the glowing city streets, filled with laughter and music. Despite the scare, the day had turned out beautiful. Day 3. On her last day, Belle wanted to make it count. No taxis, no maps, just wandering with an open heart. She walked through unfamiliar streets, trying new snacks from street carts, and even joined a small group of tourists learning how to make fresh pasta in a quiet courtyard. Flour-covered and laughing, she made new friends and learned to fold perfect little bundles of dough. Afterward, she followed the sound of music into a small plaza where a group of musicians played classical instruments. People clapped, danced, and threw coins into a hat. Belle joined in the fun, clapping along and feeling completely alive. But by late afternoon, Belle realized she was hopelessly lost. Her phone had died, and every street started to look the same. She wandered in circles for a while until she finally asked for help from a shopkeeper, who offered her a cold drink and drew her a little map. With some effort, and a bit of luck, Belle made it back to her hotel just as the sun began to set. She stood on her balcony, watching the sky turn shades of pink and orange, and took a deep breath. The city had challenged her, welcomed her, and completely enchanted her. Safe and sound. The next morning, Belle packed her suitcase with souvenirs, new memories, and the smell of the city still clinging to her clothes. She caught her flight home feeling tired but full of stories, laughter, and the magic that only comes from stepping into the unknown. She had faced mishaps, made friends, eaten like a queen, and even gotten lost, but in the best way. And though it was only 3 days, it was everything she needed. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more stories.